Hey guys, how are you all doing? There's a discussion that comes up every time a new AI tool appears. Will designers be replaced now? But maybe that's the wrong question. Google Stitch just received an important update for image generation within the tool itself. With higher visual quality, better brand style fidelity, greater understanding of the page context, and stronger integration with design.md files, which help maintain design rules, visual identity, and interface standards much more consistently. And this is where the conversation gets interesting. Because Stitch doesn't seem like a tool created to erase the designer's work, it seems much more like an instrument to speed up what a good designer already does. Testing ideas, creating variations, maintaining visual consistency, turning concepts into interfaces, and refining everything faster. The difference is that now, those who know this kind of tool can get way ahead. While some people are still debating whether AI will end the profession, others are already using this AI to create screens, prototypes, visual systems, and experiences much faster. In this video, I'm going to show you what's changed in Google Stitch and why this update can be important for designers, creators, and product teams, and how this tool can fit into the workflow and work of those who want to use AI not as a threat, but as a competitive advantage. Alright, let's get to the video. Well guys, today I want to share with you some new features that have been implemented in Google Stitch. Listen up. We're getting ready for something big for Google I/O, but we had to release an update earlier on the down low. The native image generation inside Stitch just got a full upgrade. We future-proofed the agent to offer you higher overall quality and fidelity, better alignment with your brand's specific vibe, and a deeper understanding of your page's context. Then they showed some before and after examples here. Notice that in the past you had a more streamlined design, something much simpler when we talk about visual systems. Now that's not the case. They added something much more advanced, which looks more like artificial intelligence, generating something using a much more powerful tool, like Nano Banana Pro. Now, about the design.md, I'll explain to you what that is in a moment. The images match the design.md better, so here we also have examples of how it was before and how it looks now. In other words, it's much better visually, much more pleasant. Take a look at this other example here. Check out the images in the calendar date cells. So, on the left side is the before and on the right side is the after. Notice that the design became much cleaner and much more harmonious when we compare it to the previous version. Now, those who aren't in the field might ask what a design.md is. Listen to this definition given by ChatGPT. A design.md file is basically a technical design document for a project, usually used in repositories like on GitHub. It serves to explain how the system was conceived and structured before or during implementation. What is usually inside a design.md, that is, inside this type of file? Overview of the system, what the project does and what problem it solves. Architecture, how the parts of the system are organized. For example, front-end, back-end, and APIs. Design decisions, why certain choices were made. Workflow, how data or users interact with the system. And finally, limitations and trade-offs. What was sacrificed or simplified? Then he gives a summary here. A design.md is like a mind map / explanatory document of the project. It's more focused on how and why it works, not just on how to use it. This is usually in the readme.md, so it's a file that will give the guidelines, what was done to reach this result. So, you have there the foundation, the structure of your project. And why has this become so important now? Exactly because now, when you come here to Google Stitch, the option appears here, start with a design.md. So, when you click here, there are several options. You can upload a .md file. You can simply paste the content of this file here inside the tool. You can generate it from a code base, for example from GitHub, or even search the web. I'll show you all how this works in a moment. But before that, pay attention to this tip. The hashtag Excel week is coming. A 4-day event where throughout the classes, complete projects will be developed to show you how to use Excel professionally and stand out in the job market. So nowadays, mastering Excel is no longer just a complementary skill and has practically become a requirement in many companies, regardless of the field. And the most interesting thing is that the tool can be used for everything from simple organization tasks to data analysis, automations, and creating professional reports. This Excel week is completely free and has no prerequisites because all the content will be taught step by step in a practical, easy to follow way, allowing even those who have never worked with spreadsheets to follow along without difficulty. During the event, participants will learn everything from fundamental formulas and tools to more advanced topics such as data analysis, creating professional dashboards, and even integrating artificial intelligence into the workflow in Excel. So, if you really want to learn Excel, become more productive, and use it to grow professionally, the next edition of #Excel Week will take place from May 18th to 21st, and anyone can participate for free. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code that's appearing here on the screen to secure your spot. So, hurry up and take advantage of it. Back to it. Well, let's get started. First, I want to show you what I've already managed to create with this new version. So, this here is a project. I used the .md file that I got from the internet. I'll show you where to find this type of file in a moment. And this here was the result it gave me. First, here on the left side, the file. Here I have all the features, the main instructions to create my app. Everything is clearly detailed here in my .md file, and this was the result it gave me. So here I have screen number 1, number 2, 3, A4, and this is the prototype it delivered to me. When I click here on the play button, I already have a preview where I can see exactly how the tool works, which screens are active. So it's really cool because starting from a .md file, I set up the structure of my app on my website here, and I already have the result here to test. If I like the result, I can export and implement it however I want. There are already other videos here on the channel explaining exactly how you do that. One thing I want you to notice is the visual quality that was implemented here with this new version. So now I have images here generated by Nano Banana Pro that are much more realistic and with much better quality. I'll even zoom in here so we can see it better. Notice the illustrations on the screens that it generated here for me. So look, here on screen number 1, the same thing here on screen number 2, and a little further down, I also have another image here that was rendered. So, the visual quality of this new version is much better. Now I want to show you how to bring a design.md file here into Google Stitch. So, let's go. When you enter the platform, if you already have a .md file, just click here. Then you'll upload the file that's saved on your computer. If you just want to paste this content in here, just click on this other option. Then you come here, press Ctrl+V, and paste the content into this field. If you want to generate it from a code base, then it's this other button here. It will show you the command you need to use this feature. Or if you don't have the design.md file on your computer yet, or don't have much knowledge, just click here to search on the web. Then it gives you some options here where you can find it. For today's test, I'm going to use this first option here, design.md.ai. When you click, it automatically takes you to the page. And here you have some really cool options to use in your project. So, when you click here on View All, these are the top rated designs. Then you can choose any of these here. I have 14 pages available and you can use all of them without having to pay anything. I like this option here, so I'm going to click on it. Then it shows how my website will look. So I can preview it here on desktop and also on mobile devices. Down here I have the fonts and the color palette that was used. And then there are two options. If I want to copy it to the clipboard, I just need to click this button. Or if not, I can download this design.md file to my computer. That's what I'm going to do now. By clicking here on the blue button, I'm going to save it here on my desktop. I'll go back to Google Stitch, and now I'm going to select the option here to upload. File selected, open. It already gives me a generic prompt here in case I want to use it. If not, I can add more information. I'll leave it as it is. But here in the model, instead of Flash, I'm going to select 3.1 Pro, which gives a slightly better result. Once that's done, just send the command. Notice that it automatically pulls in all the instructions contained in the design.md file. It has already generated the color palette and also the fonts that will be used. Then it asks a few questions here. I'm going to start here by creating the destination search screen. And then you interact with the artificial intelligence to create all the screens you need. Oh, one important thing. All the designs you find here on this page that are free, you can use and adapt according to your needs. What you get here is a template, it's a model, so the content depends on you and what you want to create. For that, just go into Stitch, enter the prompt you want, and then the artificial intelligence will adapt what's in that template to the content you want. Look, it has already generated my first screen here. I'll enlarge it here so we can see it better. And like I said at the beginning, notice that the image rendering here is much better. It's very different from what we had in the previous version. To create my second screen, I can follow the instructions it's giving me here or type what I want here in the prompt field. I'll continue, and I can follow this sequence until I create all the screens for my app. Done. It has already finished generating the 4 screens I asked for. I'll zoom in one more time here so we can see it better, and I want to highlight the visual quality of this design that was created. Not just the images, but also the text rendering. Everything looks much more professional in this new version. So if you like the result, before exporting, you can click this play button to create a prototype so you can see all these screens working together. Look, all my screens here have been connected, so I can see how each one will work. And to test this live, just click preview. Check it out. Here I can navigate through the profile, explore project settings and homepage. Look how interesting that is. So I can see exactly how my app is going to work. With all the screens here working together, if I don't like something, I just click here to edit. So then I can select the exact part I want to modify. And if I want to export, I just click this button. And then I have all these options. I can export directly to Google AI Studio. So there I'll be able to bring my app to life. I can also export to Figma in MCP format, .zip, copy to my clipboard, the project summary with the .md file, or even make a React app inside Stitch. So all these options here are available for you to bring your app to life. So you can export to any of these tools here. And then you can work in a much more professional way. So guys, try out this tool. The tool is available for free. You don't have to pay anything. You will upload your design.md file here into Stitch, and you'll be able to work with this new version, which now features a much more advanced image generation. And it fits perfectly with the context of your project. So, what did you think? And for designers, is this AI an enemy or an ally? Let me know in the comments, okay? I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
The highway is a ghost and the moon is a dime.